making sure this card is working. Looks like it is. Okay, using an old capture card. Just getting off the computer. Okay, so Series 7 is kind of getting ramped up already because of Crown Tundra coming out and a lot of these Pokemon returning. I did an interview on Ryan P. Hebert's YouTube channel talking about some things to look forward to coming out in Series 7. Streamed a little bit of my Crown Tundra playthrough. I've done more, I just haven't done it on stream, kind of did it off camera. Yeah, and I also released my tier list way earlier, so check that out on the channel too, of returning Pokemon I thought were going to be big in Series 7. So, we need some teams, right? Because Series 7 is starting soon, November 1st. We'll have access to it on the ranked ladder. Some people are playing on casual, you can practice on Showdown, but I wanted to get you guys some little mini team reports here. I'll just go through these kind of somewhat briefly. The Tapus are going to be obviously kind of a centerpiece to, well, we're assuming, right? It's a new metagame, hard to predict, so we're not really sure what we're going to see, but Tapus are back. They were a driving force through VGC 17, 18, and 19. Even with GS Cup and restricted mons, they were still really popular. So I made 4 teams to start with. 2 Tapu Koko focus teams and 2 Tapu Lele focus teams. Tapu Lele definitely my favorite Tapu, kind of easier to build around. A little more versatile, but I'll get you guys rental codes at the end of this video, so you can try these teams on the casual ladder now and when Series 7 begins. So if you can see, I'm on Picolytics. So very kind of basic spreads for this stuff, guys. Some of these builds are just kind of fun stuff. I mean, it definitely will work together, but since the metagame is going to be new, we're not going to be sure what is going to be popular, what's going to be needed to counter it. So these might not be optimized after the first couple weeks of the meta once it starts to settle in. I mean, who knows what's going to be popular, but kind of show you guys, especially if you haven't played with Tapus before, give you an idea of how they're used and what they can be good for. So this first team I have here is a Rain team. Rain hasn't been the best. It's usually the best weather. It's kind of been lacking this year. With Rain, I mean, you usually have some kind of substandard Pokemon that you're running as a I didn't put Swift Swim in this, as a Swift Swimmer that really only works because it has Swift Swim. So if Kingdra didn't have Swift Swim, it probably wouldn't be used at all, because it has kind of mediocre stats otherwise. And in a non-Dynamax format, when you run a Rain team like this, and you have a Swift Swimmer like Kingdra with a Life Orb or some boosting item, you have the Rain up, you can just pick up quick KOs because nothing really can outspeed it, and it's not Dynamax, so it can only be so bulky. But with Dynamax, it does make it a little more difficult because you can Dynamax, survive a hit, and then Kingdra's not very bulky in return. But you can definitely still pick up some surprise KOs. People aren't really preparing for Rain because it obviously is easier to beat, but it's not as commonly seen there. So we have Polytoad Kingdra, obviously Kingdra for Swift Swim ability, using Life Orb to do a lot of damage. Can also boost the rest of the team speed with if it Dynamaxes. You can go for max Airstreams, lower opponents' attack with max Whirlwind for off-tackle Meteor, a lot of damage with a Hydro Pump, keeps the Rain up. Polytoad's a setter with it. You can see a bulkier spread for that, just kind of straight bulk, scald, burn things, do some chip damage. Helping Hand to help Kingdra or anything else in the team bust through some Dynamax Pokemon. So mostly just support. Cloudberry, Drizzle obviously, Calm Nature for that. It's kind of the Timid team. Well, the next one is like almost everything's Timid. Timid Kingdra, just 252, 252, simple spread. Put a low on Marowak on here, even though Kingdra is not weak to electric. It doesn't take really anything surprisingly well. And with that new Regieleki running around, there might be a lot of actually other, like Koko will be around obviously too. A lot of other good electric types are going to be available now. I wanted a Lightning Rod user, and I didn't want it to be Raichu because it's not offensive enough. Low on Marowak adds a fire type to this team, which Rain teams do like to have some kind of fire coverage, otherwise it can be hard to break through like grass types or even some steel types sometimes. And then also I went with the Brave Nature, 0 speed, just to make sure it works in Trick Room. The actual one has 0 speed IVs too, this doesn't change this one. So Lightning Rod, Thick Club, obviously. It's max attack, just do the most damage. Flood with Protect, Poltergeist, and Stomping Tantrum. So some good max moves on there too. Hitmontop, I did want to have Intimidate, because I was going with low on Marowak for Lightning Rod. I didn't want Incineroar and double up on fire types. I thought about Landorus, that actually could have been okay, but I already had a Lightning Rod user, so I'm already blocking electric attacks. Marowak has ground type move, so it was kind of some roll compression to bring Marowak as kind of filling a lot of these holes. So, and also wanted Fake Out too. So using Hitmontop, not something you see too often, but I think it can still be good, even though there's a lot of Airstream users around, and obviously we have a lot of fairies now. I went with Fake Out, Close Combat. Sucker Punch, be helpful for Dragapults. And I went with Wide Guard, which is something you definitely haven't been seeing, but now with Series 7, you might see more spread. You might see more Dazzling Gleams, Heat Waves potentially, and obviously there's always a concern of like getting caught with Torkoal Eruption. I mean, I won't see that with the Rain team, but I just felt like you're starting to see a little bit more spread damage with Landers coming back. He's a little afraid of this team, but obviously with having Coco around, you might see it to kind of counter that if it starts running away with KOs. So Wide Guard will help against Earthquakes and Rock Slide too. So thought about helping him, but I already had that on Politoed. We'll see how it goes. Celesteela. So kind of the purpose of this team, I had a similar build in 2017. It was called I got Thunderstorm teams because I had Thunder Coco, because obviously it abuses the rain, so a little higher damage output. Doesn't have to rely on a Life Orb then, since Kingdra has that, so it can go with Focus Sash. Add a little bit of bulk. But the team kind of revolves around, getting fast damage like that and keeping Celesteela alive and protecting as much as it can. Celesteela is very bulky already, and it's weak to electricity, obviously, but I do have Lightning Rod on this team, and also weak to fire, and I have rain. So that's kind of the purpose of it. It is bold with a plus defense nature, but it's maximum special defense, so kind of trying to hit on both sides. So your Beast Boost will be special defense. Yeah, I mean, mostly it's probably worried about special attacks from electric and fire, but I went with a very standard Celesteela set. It's got leftovers, Leech Seed and Protect, try to stall some games out. I went with special over Heavy Slam for Flash Cannon, just because Heavy Slam can't hit Dynamax Pokemon, so I went with Flash Cannon instead of that, and Flamethrower. The Tapus on Picolytics aren't saving their, do it again, like their EVs keep disappearing. Did it to my Lele too, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. Just did a simple 252 spread for this Coco. Focus Sash, Timid for that as well. Protect, Volt Switch, Thunder over Thunderbolt because of the rain, and Dazzling Gleam. So, pretty straightforward. You probably want to mostly be Dynamaxing Kingdra, just trying to go for as much damage as you can, and then switching in Celesteela to kind of take hits when necessary. It means protecting Kingdra from Dragon and Fairy moves. It's protecting Hitmontop from flying moves. It's obviously resisting him, and it's flying types. It's protecting Coco from ground, so it's a good switch in for this. So you'll probably be seeing that coming in and out a lot, and also obviously protecting Politoed and from grass type attacks. Kingdom to an extent too, just because it doesn't like taking. It can't do much to them except for Hurricane, I suppose now. Okay. So that's the first team. And then we have, we'll go right to this one. This another Coco team, this Regilecti team. So I thought I'd give that a try. This one's kind of really little gimmicky. You'll see it only has 5 mons. Picolytics doesn't have a slot for Galarian Articuno yet. So this is the 6th mon on the team. You'll see on the rental code. Let me just pull up on my phone just to make sure I'm getting this out right. So it is Galarian Articuno is the 6th mon. Freezing Glare, Hurricane, Tailwind, and Protect. and it has Electric Seed to boost its defense, and it also is just a 252 spread, special attack, and speed, intimidation. So, get to see that when we do when I look at the rental code. But I wanted to have, excuse me. The team's already pretty fast, but I wanted to make sure I had Tailwind for Heatran, because I didn't run any speed in that. So most of the time you want to be going with the Coco Regieleki lead. Regieleki, I only put 56 speed EVs into it. It already outspeeds. Dragapult anyway, so it doesn't need a lot of speed EVs. So I did put some bulk in it just because it's kind of frail. I want to do best in HP since its defense stats are super low. Max out on special attack with a timid nature, and its ability obviously is that Thunder Cage thing. Is that what it's called? No, Transistor. Okay. With a Life Orb, Rising Voltage and Volt Switch, and I put Hyper Beam on there just because Regieleki basically has hardly any coverage. So you might pick up a sneaky KO and a Landorus with like a Dazzling Gleam Hyper Beam combination. So put that on there. The Coco is the same as the other team we had here, except it has Wise Glasses over Focus Sash. It's timid. This is not saving the set for him. It's also 252 spread on the team. The moves are different. So Thunderbolt, Dazzling Gleam, Taunt, just to try to shut down Tailwind. Try to shut down Trick Room since this team is pretty fast, and also Protect. Serena, so the one thing, like, Regieleki obviously is super fast, but it doesn't want to deal with priority, so there's a benefit for an opponent running Rillaboom, takes away you have to pick a Terrain War, and also it can get priority Grassy Bite on you, so run Serena so it can use its ability to block priority. Also, it's good against ground types that aren't necessarily Landorus, and it's not terrible, but obviously doesn't like taking flying attacks, but usually Landorus doesn't have that unless it's Dynamaxing. Standard Serena, Triple Axe was kind of maybe a little bit of a surprise for Landorus too. Power Whip, High Jump Kick, and Protect. It's too late again. I'm yawning. Okay, this is kind of a little bit of a surprise. I put Alolan Ninetales on there, so thinking about Regielecky's speed and keeping the speed advantage in this game with having Tailwind and obviously some fast base speed, and being able to fight off Rising Voltage as much as possible. So I thought about, okay, priority obviously outspeeds you, so you want something to block that, so we have Serena. I'm bringing Ninetales for kind of two reasons. One, to override weather, just in case they have like a Tyranitar Excadrill or something like that might become more popular if we see a lot of Regieleki, just to outspeed you, so it can override the weather on that. And also it can set up Aurora Veil to boost this team's defenses, which is kind of frail. So Dazzling Gleam, Protect Aurora Veil, and Blizzard. It's kind of basic spread damage. I mean, Blizzard's nice for kind of fish for freezes too. This team's kind of big on that just because it has Freezing Glare on Articuno as well. Articuno will also kind of somewhat deter Landorus because it has competitive also. So Heatran, Sugar and Heatran. So it felt like I was stacking a lot of ground weaknesses. Modest, max special attack, max HP, with Flash Fire obviously. Heat Wave, Protect, Earth Power, and Flash Cannon. So it's kind of a stand-in for our ground type a little bit. Just being able to use Earth Power. Main reason for me wanting Tailwind was because of Heatran just kind of speed it up a little bit. And also Ninetales Roarville can definitely help out boosting its defenses that are already pretty good. I think you'll start to see it'll be more difficult to bring bulky water types now, just because you will see Rillaboom, this Regielekky's around, Coco's around, so ice types can have their niche now, just because you're hitting Landorus for more damage anyway. But you'll definitely see Feeny and stuff like that. But Ninetales is always kind of useful, and 2018 is like a sneaky rain counter and stuff like that. So that's the second Coco team. And then we have Tapu Lele. Okay. It's kind of a basic bulky team. Again, this didn't save Lele's spread. Lele has an interesting spread actually. So I went 252 HP. See, it doesn't even work here. So I can put it in 252 HP. God, I remember. It's 100 EVs in speed. 116 special attack. team. 4 EVs, special defense, and then the rest is in defense. Okay, well, yeah, this thing doesn't do that. It just maxes it out, doesn't it? Oh, 36, that's right. Okay, so that's what the spread looks like. That's the spread I used in 2017. Just kind of a basic, bulky spread. Lily can be kind of frail. Yeah, so obviously with this team you want to be Dynamaxing Corviknight most of the time and going for Brave Birds to get up its speed. This team's basically, its thing is just being bulky and taking hits and just kind of outlasting. So we have our Tapu Lele bringing the terrain, blocking priority, boosting its own attacks obviously. I did have Celesteal on this team too, but Corviknight seemed to fit a little bit better. Corviknight with Amoonguss just preventing anything from attacking it for a couple of turns, while Dynamaxes gets up its speed, its defense, its attack with Body Press. Actually, you kind of want to be boosting defense since that kind of boosts Body Press anyway once you shrink back down. And then Roost, just to maintain your HP. It didn't save this either. So it has leftovers, and its ability is obviously Mirror Armor. Entei? Oh, thanks. Save this either. This is Assault Vest. Assault Vest. And its ability, actually it doesn't have it listed, so its ability is Inner Focus, since you can change it now with the hidden ability patch, so we did that. It is Adamant. These are the right EVs. 252 speed. I mean, a lot of times Landorus is... Oh no, we went Jolly, that's right, we went Jolly. So, to win Jolly, max speed to outspeed, max speed Landorus and get the burn on it right away. The Sacred Fire will always burn. 156 HP and 100 attack. Iron Head, Stopping Tantrum. Oh, no, we went with Crunch. Never mind. Hold on, we changed that. We went with Crunch? Yeah, we went with Crunch. So I didn't have a Dark type. So I kind of wanted that for Lele. Crunch. Crunch. I'm missing it. Boom. Snarl, just to reduce special, so it can reduce special attack and also obviously physical attack by burning too. And Stopping Tantrum just so it doesn't get walled by fire types. So excited to use that. I mean, if you're going to optimize, Incineroar might be better, but it's just kind of fun to use something new. Okay, Rotom Wash, we kind of skipped that one. Same Rotom Wash I've been using for a while now. Set actually is exactly the same with Nasty Plot, same EVs, and just bulky. So that's been really good, especially with some redirection. So with Amoonguss, can obviously help it set up. Dynamax with that too if you don't want to use Corviknight. You don't have Dynamax. They can get one hit KOs just with boosting if you can keep protecting it with Amoonguss. And having a bulky water type was useful. And I have good deterrence for Rillaboom on here since it doesn't want to deal with Entei or Corviknight. I can change its terrain to block its priority. And also Amoonguss can hit with Sludge Bomb too, and it's not doing much back to it. Basic bulky Amoonguss. McGlob Berry, I didn't want to do a damage resisting berry, just never know what you're going to be hit with kind of, but the flying resist berry is probably a good bet too. And Rage Fire Spore, Sludge Bomb to hit some of these grass types that are around and protect. Having fun with the hidden ability patch with this too. It didn't have this available either, it only has Sand Force, but with the hidden ability patch we can give Landorus Eye Sheer Force. So I don't have to Intimidate on this team. I was going to go with Landorus T, but since we have Entei burning things, I thought we'd have a little fun and go with Sheer Force Landorus. So with Sheer Force, we didn't finish doing attacks. Hold on, get my attacks figured out again. Psychic and Sludge Bomb. Psychic and Psychic and Focus Blast. I believe that's what it is. I might have went with Rock Slide anyway, even though I can't flinch. We'll go with that and we'll check it when we do our thing. So what with 252, regular spread, 4 HP. So with Life Orb, if you use an attack that has an additional effect, right? Like Psychic has a 10% chance to lower your special defense. I don't remember what Earth Power does. Same thing, 10% chance to lower your special defense. Sludge Bomb has the potential to burn, and Focus Blast this thing too. Not just the potential to miss. 10% chance to lower special. Okay, so same thing. So that's kind of nice. You get some opportunities, but basically you're not getting any of those effects in exchange for higher damage output. And also, if you use a move with a Sheer Force Pokemon that has a Life Orb, if the move has an additional effect, you're not getting that, and you're also not getting the recoil from the Life Orb. So it's kind of a free Life Orb. You're not getting another item, obviously, but it's not taking your HP. So that's kind of a no-brainer to try that. So that will be up also. Kind of excited to try that. And the other Lele team, who I'm probably mostly excited about, I played a couple games tonight, and I won all of them, which was kind of nice, but it's obviously casual ladder, so who knows. The Lele spread is gone again. That's the same as the last screen we just had up. Same Lele, Psychic, Moonblast, Taunt, and Protect. This one has Life Orb. The last one had... Hold on, maybe I didn't even look at that. Hold on. Nope, this is wrong. This is Focus Sash. Can't have 2 Life Orbs. I went a lot of changes tonight. Focus Sash. Focus Sash. This is moves. Oh, I can't find it. Focus Sash. Focus Sash. There it is. Beep. Okay. So, alright, back to the other one. Nope. Okay. So, Life Orb Lily now, same spread, so it doesn't have a ton of speed. I mean, it is timid, but you'll see some speed control in a second. Lily Metagross, one of my favorite combinations. Just max HP, almost max attack. I put on some speed into this Metagross so it can outspeed Cinderace in Tailwind. So that was kind of the benchmark for that. Salomons, it's kind of a support, Assault Vest Salomons. I don't know, support I guess, but it's supporting with Intimidate. Yeah, it is Assault Vest. Timid, max speed. It does have some special attack investment, so it can hit back. Draco Meteor, Flamethrower, Hydro Pump, so just kind of some regular coverage there. I didn't put a flying move on because I'm not going to be Dynamaxing it. And then Bulldoze to set off Metagross's weakness policy. That's why I went max speed, and obviously it's not lowering Metagross's speed because it has Clear Body. Making me Intimidate too. Rotom Wash again, here we go. It just works on so many things. So, same spread as we have been using, just regular bulky Rotom Wash, but I did switch Nasty Plot out since I don't have, just didn't want to be setting up in this with this team. I don't have a redirection, so I put Thunder Wave on there instead, just for an alternative speed control, just because I don't, if I lose Drift Bloom or something and I don't have Tailwind goes out, that can help Metagross. Obviously you can switch in on ground attacks and fire attacks, so it's just, that makes a good core. Incineroar, Psychic Spam teams generally have a Dark type. It's kind of regular Incineroar. A little bit different is I didn't go with this traditional like bulky spread. I went 252, 252 attack. So it can catch some people off guard with how much damage it'll do. You can even Dynamax in the pinch through 4 EVs into speed to outspeed any opposing Incineroar that might have no speed. Well, maybe I don't know why they wouldn't, but Fake Out, Flare Blitz, Parting Shot, and Darkish Lariat. No, I can't have Assault Vest. Can't do. It's got a berry. I popped a berry. Okay. Okay. So regular Incineroar. Just didn't want to go with the full bulky speed spread just because we have Will-O-Wisp on Drift Bloom. We have 2 Intimidates now. So we're going to be reducing their attack kind of a lot. Obviously not on the special side, but yeah. So we went with that. And this doesn't have its last move either. Build this as we go. Okay. And then Drift Bloom, haven't heard a lot of buzz about this yet. With the terrains back and more reliable, I mean, it could work with Indeedee, but Indeedee wasn't as offensive, even though that gets extending force, so it might be kind of good with that. But so for those of you who don't know, Drift Bloom Lele was also a very strong core in 2017, 2018, saw a little bit of usage in 2019, but not much. So, so Drift Bloom comes in on Psychic Terrain, or you just lead Lele and Drift Bloom. It uses its Psychic Seed to boost its special defense, and it gets its Unburden boost right away. So that means it's outspeeding basically everything. It's doubling its speed. So it can hit Tailwind really fast. It can burn things before they can hit Lele. And I put Hex on here, so Hex will do obviously more damage to something that's already burned. and I used it over Shadow Ball for that reason, and also because without burning its opponent, it's doing less damage, which means it can set up Metagross's weakness policy for it in case we lose Salomons or don't bring it, and it won't do as much damage because it has a lower base power. And then Destiny Bond, I wasn't a big fan of using that a whole lot when this was popular before, but I think it could be good now just because a lot of times if a opponent is familiar somewhat with Drift Bloom and these strategies, they're not going to think that you can protect, and if they Dynamax, and they might just try to knock you out immediately, so it can stop supporting. You know you're probably not going to be able to protect on it. It could get a KO, and if they're running like an Ultra Beast or something, or I don't know, something that's going to get a boost from getting a knockout. But if you can Destiny Bond and knock out a Dynamax Pokemon as like its first turn, that could be huge. So I haven't been lucky enough to get that off yet, but it's just a good way that Drift Bloom can kind of protect itself, because it's obviously Destiny Bonding really quickly if it has its boost. This is a spread I went with. Pretty regular, I mean, it's a traditional spread that I used to use all the time. Not so much HP investment just because the base HP is super low, but heavy defense investment, heavy special defense. Once you get this seed boost, didn't need a whole lot of speed because you're doubling it anyway. And then as long as you're going, I mean, you're doubling your speed with your unburden boost, and then you're tailwinding. So now you're faster than everything because you're quadrupling your speed. So, so yeah, I'm kind of the most excited to ladder with that. So those are the 4 teams. At the end of this video, I will have the 4 rental codes coming up, so feel free to use those. Give me any feedback that you have on those. I mean, obviously it's new to the meta, just kind of some fun stuff to get started using. I can see any of these things doing well right now, and then we'll make adjustments as we go along. I will try laddering with all of these teams once the ranked ladder opens up. I did qualify for the Players' Cup, so we're kind of working on some teams for that too, kind of some meta standard stuff like that. We'll probably make a lot of adjustments, but I'll try to do some more team builders like this. So thank you guys for watching this video. Please leave a like if you liked it, and subscribe if you haven't. So we're 2 Tapus down. We have 2 left, Tapu Fini and Tapu Rillaboom. I won't build with Bulu probably. I'll just build with Rillaboom, and it'll basically just be because it's got grassy terrain. I'll do another one of these episodes with Fini, and I have those teams built already, and I'll work on some Rillaboom teams with some rental codes for you too. Any mons you'd like to see me try to build around, definitely leave that in the comments as well. So I'll try to just make these little short videos just so you guys have something you can utilize. Pokemon that are ready to go, already trained in a rental team, so you can get some practice for you to get this stuff in game. So thank you guys for watching. Leave a like if you liked it, and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you next time.